Do you want a traditional woman?
What do you mean by traditional?
Okay, so do I want a woman with like a low body count who's like feminine and
Yeah.
Okay,
because I feel like when you tell girls, oh, you're on OnlyFans, but you want a traditional guy, doesn't make sense. That's how I feel about you. Like you want a traditional woman, but you won't take that role in the beginning.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Because I think you're going to push away a lot of really great traditional women who you would totally be into, and vice versa.
Sure. However, can we agree that the discrepancy between not wanting to pay on the first date, like the, let's say the social faux pas or the egregiousness of, no offense to the girls here who do OnlyFans, doing sex work is like way more non-traditional than the guy who just wants to split the bill? Like, can we agree that that's skewing further away from tradition?
I don't think the tradition matters. I think how much it can be a red flag. In the same way a guy will shut down the body count, a girl could very well shut down you based off that decision. And I also think, like, there's just risks you have to take in dating. And I think if you know...
But I've already laid out the scenarios where, like, if she's in college and she is, for example, traditional, and, you know, she's younger, she's not making a ton of money, then I'm more obliged to pay for the first date. However, if you're a professional career woman, I mean, that in and of itself is kind of non-traditional.
Okay.
I think it sounds like you've kind of just accepted, like, anybody that's going to weed out and turn off from seeing you as a romantic partner. You've kind of accepted that.
Yeah,
And you kind of take it as well, I don't want to be with that person. They're not right for me.
And I mean, the other thing that I would point out when it comes to this is that women who require romance, they're just not really that into you. Like, because a girl will...
So are you
a guy who's attractive enough, you're not going to be... Even if he doesn't pay, maybe if it's your preference that he pays, if he's attractive enough to you, if you want him bad enough, that's not going to deter you.
But then, like, what do you expect a courtship to look like?
What do you mean?
Like, in terms of getting to know somebody when you first start dating, what do you expect that to look like if there's not going to be any romance involved?
Well,
I think you're, like, exaggerating the term romance a little too much. Like, we're not,
what do you
no
mean
one's
by
looking
romance?
to, like, have rose petals laid out on the floor constantly.
When I say romance, basically just, I mean, as the guy obviously paying for, you know, romantic overtures,
Sure.
flowers, gifts.
Well, those
that
are things
sort
that
of
you,
shit.
like, especially the flowers and the gifts. Of course, a lot of women appreciate that. For myself, I love flowers. Gifts, I don't really care too much about, but I'm a sucker for flowers.
You go on the first date with a guy, he
Yeah.
shows up with flowers.
That's too much.
Yeah, way
Who said
too
that?
much.
Depends.
You said
I
that?
think if I'm going on a
Oh,
first
well,
date,
hold on. It's too much. See?
If
There
I'm
you
going on
go.
a first date with a guy and he's pulling up with flowers, I think he's trying too hard.
If
Exactly. But that's why all this, like, romantic shit, it's no longer appreciated en masse. Because as a guy,
On the
it's
first
like
date, I think-
50-50. Either the girl appreciates it, or honestly,
I think-
more likely than
Yeah,
not,
see,
she's
I
going to be
would
like,
Is this
it's...
something, if a guy can show up and be himself, it shows, like, if he shows up with flowers, I'm wondering, like, okay, is he trying to make up for something that he feels like he lacks?
But why do you think that? Why is that
I mean,
not just a kind gesture that somebody
I mean,
does?
it
That's
could
a
be
very
kind
classical gesture.
I think more so like
That's the norm these
It's
days,
too much.
though. Like, that's the norm in terms of, like, romance. But in other countries, like I travel a lot and live in Europe quite a bit, and in those countries, women love that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
Love
it'd be
it.
nice. I guess it's just more so. I mean, it depends on the context of if you've met them previously. If I met them in person, I guess I'm thinking first date of, like, let's say it's off of a dating app. Let's say it's off of, like, a dating app. If it's off a dating app and I'm meeting them for the first person, which I'm not even on dating apps.
Are you
but,
on
like,
Farmers Only?
hypothetically?
Christian Mingle? What are
Right?
you on?
I'm not on any
Is there a
dating
dating
apps.
app
I
for
actually
Mormons?
don't like dating apps.
Mormons.
There is.
Excuse me.
Depends on-
There is a
LDS,
dating
or-
app. It's called Mutual, and
Mutual?
it's literally it is just.
Depends on the dude.
What
though.
is soaking? Is that what do you know what I'm talking about? Is that?
Are we really getting
Sorry,
into
are we-
that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this?
It's
What is
uh,
it?
Haram!
I'm sorry. I heard it's a
Yeah.
thing that's done. Okay, I don't know.
It is a thing that's. It's basically. I don't
Sounds
know
like
what
a-
to talk about. It's
okay,
it's
never
just like a
mind.
loophole
I
for
apologize.
virgins.
I'm
who-
vile.
It's not even. I don't know. It's just weird. There's a lot of, like, guidelines, I guess, or.
Okay, but so
Yeah,
you're on
guidelines in
Christian
the church.
Mingle. You match with a dude. He brings you flowers. Turn off.
I guess it's more so like, I guess, okay, you're right. It really just comes down to how attractive he is at the end of the day.
And also
but-
how confident he is as well. Because
Right.
if he's
I
a
think the way
confident
he
man and
carries
he
himself.
does that and he's like dressed up nicely
I
and he
think-
gives you flowers, it's going to be like,
Yeah.
that's a, for
I
me,
think
that would
it
be
depends on
exciting.
so many
Also,
factors. Like
I-
they could sweep me off their feet. Otherwise, like or I could just be like, oh.
If he was
like,
giving you
eh.
flowers, like, please love me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Of
I
course.
guess
That's like
maybe
what I
maybe
think
I've just
no
had
one's
some
gonna
experiences like
though.
that.
No woman's gonna like that.
But flowers is like.
I don't think the flowers are the make or break factor.
Yeah, that's
in
what
that
that's what I was
situation,
about
though.
to say. Like flowers is never going to be like it's never going to be a maker.
No.
And so
It's
what's
of
the
course
point?
just an but it is just an okay, so when you're especially in the first terms of dating, you of course like have this slow build up, and it either obviously like takes off or drastically declines and you stop dating that person. But there are little things that somebody can do that slowly speed that process along.
If it was a guy that I had known previously as well, if I had met him, even if
Like
it was
drug
like I
use?
met him in public and he like
Drug
asked me
use
out
is a
that
hard
way or got
one.
my phone number that way, and we've been chatting like a little bit, then I feel like that's a different situation from somebody that it's your very first time meeting them, like a blind date type situation,
Yeah.
situation almost, or like a dating app type
See, I still
situation.
don't agree. I think that, like, okay, obviously, in the sense that we were just talking about, if someone shows up super nervous and really unsure of themselves, flowers aren't going to make or break that situation. That's them. But if somebody shows up and is very confident and shows up with flowers, whether it's the first time I'm meeting them or not, I would absolutely appreciate that.
I agree with you on that
But
one.
these
I think
days,
it is how they carry
these days,
themselves at the end of
guys
the day.
have to absolutely wait to do that sort of stuff.
I just want to ask, why is it that you guys so fervently support a patriarchal, traditional belief that men should pay for the first date?
I never said.
Are you
I never
guys in
stated my
favor of the
stance.
patriarchy? Hello?
I
I am.
Absolutely.
Is the
You ever
patriarchy
say
kind of
that-
Does this feel
awesome?
like
Yeah.
reverse It's kind of psychology? great. Like,
Okay.
I appreciate the
You know what?
patriarchy.
Can I say to the
Appreciate the
flowers
patriarchy.
thing? I think there's a real problem in our society with apathy in general, but especially when it comes to dating. It feels like a contest of who cares less about this relationship.
Sure, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
That's true.
People
Yeah.
can be more like nonchalant. Or
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
it's
who's
an
less
exclusive. It's an
invested?
exclusively thing that's happening in the West, though. Like,
Yeah.
guarantee
Yeah.
you. Like we have a very strange and sick dating culture
Absolutely.
over here. And like I said before, you have to really wait before you give those gestures over here. Especially, and even if you're somebody who appreciates romance, you just can't take that chance anymore. But if you do that in other countries, then women will really, really appreciate it
Yeah.
from the jump. So
I think because
Word.
there's a lot of people have fear about like the love bombing thing. I know like
It's a strange
we talk
concept.
about that about just
It is a
coming
very
on
strange
super
concept.
strong and like you said, it's
Mm.
just
Or
the culture out
attracting.
here. Hmm?
Like coming on super strong and then like retracting like out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Kind of thing.
yeah, romance is dead.
We have to